Rest is a weapon. Michael McLean, badassbrotherhood.com. Horsepower, not horse shit. Beautiful day out here at Audie Lake. Want to shoot this quick video. This, I believe, is video 201, something like that, over 200. I started shooting these videos after American Thanksgiving in November. My goal is 365, then my goal is 2 years, then my goal is 3 years, all the way to 5 years. And then I've set a huge badass goal of 10 straight years. But at the end of the day, we'll see. We take it, one day at a time, control the controllables in the McLean house, and get up every day. And this is my number one priority, is shooting a video and sending you an email every single day. So I do these the majority of the time on my walk, my morning power walk. So when I'm walking, I'm also talking to you, taking you on a mini adventure around the lake. Actually, at the far end here, if you can see that point right about there, that's exactly where I walk to every day. So that takes me about 71 minutes. Not that I'm a detail guy. 71 minutes to the point, Clifford and I. And that is, my friend, 15,000 steps, a few more than 15,000 steps. It takes me an hour and 10 minutes and back. And I shoot the video. It's usually 25 minutes, somewhere in there, 20, 25, even as much as 30. And I shoot that during my walk. So if you like those adventures, those morning adventures down by the lake and back, then you can subscribe to this channel and watch for my emails every single day. So rest is a weapon. I learned this coaching pro and amateur hockey, and the first time I heard this quote was from one of my favorite badass NHL coaches, a man by the name of Guy Boucher. And Guy Boucher was the head coach of the Tampa Bay Lightning, the two-time defending Stanley Cup champion presently. And Boucher was also the head coach here in Ottawa with the Ottawa Senators team in the NHL. Badass guy. I've met him on a couple of occasions. He's just a little guy too. He's like 5'7", and he's in phenomenal shape. He's one of these guys who does, 400 push-ups a day. He works 18 hours a day. Nobody can outwork this guy. And he taught me the infamous 1-3-1 forecheck, the infamous 1-3, I call it the steel curtain defense in honor of the old Pittsburgh Steelers, the 1-3-1 steel curtain defense. And we taught this to our Perth Blue Wings hockey team in 2019. We called it the 1-3-1 steel curtain. But it was Guy Boucher who showed me and taught me this. And nobody used this. Nobody used this a couple of years ago, 3 years ago, whatever it was. And we upset the offensive juggernaut Ottawa Canadiens in the league final to win the Barclay Cup 3 years ago. How did we do it? We were underdogs. We weren't supposed to win a game in the 7-game series. And after losing game 1, 7-3, where we got taken behind the woodshed, we had a couple of days off, and what did we do? We fully committed to this 1-3-1 forecheck that Guy Boucher was famous for in Tampa and a little bit in Ottawa. And to make a short story long, because I could talk about hockey forever, especially systems, defensive systems, it's a system that nobody even uses, nobody knows about. And we used this against the Ottawa Canadiens, and we won 4 straight games in that series to lift the Barclay Cup after getting slaughtered in game 1. So we took this offensive powerhouse and we literally neutered them, neutered that team. We reduced them to 1, 2, 3 goals a game maybe, completely shut down their power play. We actually threw a blanket on their team. We threw a blanket on their offense, and they could barely get over the center red line when we were done with them. And like in business, great defense leads to great offense. All great offense in football, in soccer, in even tennis, definitely in hockey, and certainly in business, great fundamental defense leads to outstanding offense. You know, in hockey, get the puck attack, get the puck attack, get the puck attack. You can't do anything without the puck. So the 1-3-1 forecheck is all about getting the puck back, getting the puck back, getting the puck back. So we use Guy's 1-3-1, and in junior hockey, you're not up against NHL coaching. You're not up against pro coaching. So when it worked in the finals, there was nothing the Ottawa Canadiens could do because they literally didn't have the video, they didn't have the tactics, they didn't have the coaching staff to adjust quickly when you're playing a game every 2 nights. So basically, it was a 1-3-1 where you have 3 of your players across the red line with the forecheck. There's literally no way to get into our zone without dumping the puck. So we forced an offensive team that hated to dump the puck in, to ever have to chip the puck in, to dump the puck over 200 times in the next 4 games. So we made them play our game. They would chip it in, we would chip it out. They would dump it in, we would dump it out. And we played that type of game, and we won games 4-1, 3-2, and we lifted the Barclay Cup. And one of the big factors, besides grit and desire and championship effort and championship discipline and championship execution, was Guy Boucher's 1-3-1. But Boucher always talked about, when he was in Tampa and Ottawa, rest is a weapon. And even just 3 years ago, he was one of these NHL coaches who gave the guys lots of days off. Like, you know, you could go out in the ice and practice for 30 minutes, 35 minutes, which they do in pro. Same in the NBA. They're so busy, they're traveling so much that he had the data to show that rest was a weapon for his athletes. So instead of putting on their skates on game days, you know, and going for a spin for 25 minutes, which hockey players are into a game, every game day, it's the same, right? Go out, handle some pucks, get off the ice. It's like the walkthrough in football. It's just ingrained in players. He was a badass. He does the exact opposite. He's like, no, we're not doing any morning skates on game days. So there's 84 games in a year. He said, we're not going to put our skates and gear on. And in a 100 game season in the NHL, that's an amazing amount of mental and physical rest. It's not just that you're putting on your gear and you're heading out and you're playing with the pucks and you're shooting on the goalies and then you're getting off. It's the fact that he thought mentally the rest was so important that he was like, no, that's 84 times, 84 morning skates that we're not going to participate in when other teams are. That's 84 times we don't have to come to the rink. And, you know, by the end of a pro season, athletes are worn down mentally. They're worn down mentally. I mean, they're sick of the planes, they're sick of the buses, they're sick of the road, they're sick of the games, they're sick of everything. So this was his way that rest is a weapon. And you cannot argue with his results, both in Tampa and in Ottawa, where, you know, he would, instead of his teams flying out the night after a game, which is very customary, play on the road and then fly right after. You know, these guys fly charters, so they're, you know, wheels up within an hour. So if they're in Chicago, they got a game, and the next day it's wheels up right after the game, and they're gone. What he studied sleep as a coach, an NHL coach. He studied sleep, and he said, no. He says our players are better when we're playing on the road. It's better for us to return to the hotel. Say you're playing on the road in Chicago. It's better for the players to return to the hotel in Chicago, have a good night's sleep, get up the next morning at the same time, and travel on that day, which is, you know, an off day, usually a day off between games. And that was his theory. Instead of, you know, jumping on a charter plane right after each game, he changed the entire thinking. He was like, no, back to the hotel, good night's sleep, and then the next day we will get up early in the morning and we'll travel that day. But every time, rest is a weapon. Rest is a weapon. So when you apply that to what I'm teaching to businessmen, men like you over the age of 40, married with children, you know, busy guys, it's rest has something that I've noticed in the last 10 years that I've studied, learning from guys like Guy Boucher, is that rest is a weapon. Sleep especially is a weapon. And I get a big kick out of all this, people have coaches for everything now, right? Like we're so dependent, we can't think for ourselves anymore. And what do I teach you here? I teach you here, I share what I do. And what I do here on these morning videos and in my book and in my mastermind programs, what do? I promote a different way of thinking. But I never, ever, ever tell you how to think. You need to think independently. You need to listen to your golden gut. You need to listen to your intuition. You need to think independently, not what I do, not what some other celebrity does, not what some businessman does, not what some athlete does, not what your brother does. Thinking independently. But what I do here is I give you the option for thinking differently. And again, this is the same thing. Sleep and rest are weapons. But over the last 10 years, I have used rest as a weapon to separate myself even more from my competitors. When you're under the age of 30, you can drink, you can recover the next day, you can grab a nap, you can go to bed when you want, you can get up it's so much easier. But rest is a weapon. Rest is a weapon, especially from the age of 40 on. And I found that exactly to be true. And I teach this in my masterminds and my coaching all the time. I teach this at the advanced level. But you don't need a sleep coach. It's almost the same way as saying, well, I have an email coach. Like, are you fucking insane? You don't need a sleep coach. You don't need an email coach. You don't know. You need one, maybe two mentors. You need one, maybe two high performance coaches like me. It doesn't have to be me. It could be somebody else. But everybody needs a coach. I have a coach. You need a coach. But as far as these specialties, like it's common sense if you're an independent thinker, common sense that rest is a weapon. So let me go over the basics of what I share in my masterminds as an example with my elite guys in terms of rest. And you don't need a coach for this. You don't need to read another book on it. You don't need to listen to a podcast, okay? The secret to good sleep, which is number one, rest, good sleep. Good sleep changes your life. And people, the majority, 99%, sleep like shit. And it has to do with the fact that they don't go to bed at the same time. They're on their phones. It's just a whole bunch of stuff. So people aren't sleeping. Businessmen are not sleeping and they're aging because of it. So here's what you have to do to use rest as a weapon. Number one, you have to always go to bed at the same time every night. You need to go to bed at the same time every night. For me, that's 10 p.m. I used to go to bed at 1:30. I used to go to bed at 12. I used to go to bed whenever Sports Center was over. Not anymore. I go to bed, 90% of the time at 10 p.m. sharp. I'm lights out at 10:15 after my gratitude with Krista. So go to bed at the same time every night. That's discipline. You walk at the same time, you market at the same time, it's just part of your schedule, but there's nothing more important in your schedule. Every day you write down your schedule. Well, the most important thing is when you go to bed, when you start to shut it down. So for me, that's 10 p.m. The second part of rest is a weapon is getting up at the exact same time every day. That's non-negotiable. That's unfuckwithable. I get up every single day of my life, tired, whatever, at 5:59. I don't need an alarm. My daughter's my alarm, 5:59. My feet are on the floor. I'm splashing some water on my face. I'm brushing my teeth. I'm saying my prayers. I'm putting on my shorts, my t-shirt, my hat, and I'm heading downstairs to drink a couple of glasses of lemon water, and I'm gone. 5:59. So if I'm up late on a Saturday night or on a Friday night, it's our anniversary or there's a party or awards, whatever it is, I still get up at 5:59 every single day. Saturday, Sunday, I don't need to sleep in. But if I have been up late past 10 p.m., like last weekend, it was my birthday, it was Father's Day, all this other stuff, no big deal. I had a nap during the day for an hour and I was fine. But I didn't sleep in. There's no badass millionaires don't sleep in. 5:59 in my case. So basically, I'm in bed every night at 10 p.m. and I'm up every day at 6 a.m. And that's 8 hours sleep. And I believe that most people, not everybody, but most businessmen need 8 hours sleep. I know I do. I need 8 hours of solid sleep. If I go to bed at 11 o'clock, there's a big difference in my day the next day. 7 hours doesn't do it for me. I've always needed 8 hours of sleep. Younger kids, your teenagers, they need 10 hours of uninterrupted sleep a night. 10 hours. No cell phones to bed, lights off, get up for school, university, whatever it is, 10 solid hours. Because they're growing, their brains are growing, their bodies are growing. My dad, I mean, there's outliers to everything. My dad used to sleep 5 hours a night. And then he slept, he's 88 years old and he sleeps 7 hours a night now. But you know what? I can't do that. I can't be my dad. He doesn't need sleep. And I don't know how he does it, but it doesn't make any difference. I need 8 hours of sleep, solid sleep. And it's my secret weapon, right? Rest is my weapon. So I need 8 hours. So there's number one, going to bed at the exact same time every night, and getting up at the exact same time every morning. Do that for a week and see the results. Do that for 7 days and see the results. Go to bed at a certain time, get up at a certain time. Your body will get into a rhythm like no other. You will wake up naturally. None of this snooze stuff. You never, ever, ever, ever press a snooze button in your life. First of all, it makes you more tired because you go back to sleep. You trick your mind and body into resting. Your organs start to shut down again after they were waking up, and you wake up 5 minutes later or 10 minutes later and you feel really tired. But what do you think pressing a snooze button says to your mindset? What do you think that says to your psychologically to you? It says my dreams aren't important. It says my rituals and habits aren't important. That morning walk isn't important. Every time you press the snooze button, you're saying your goals and dreams and mission aren't important. That's what you're telling yourself, because you're starting your day right off the bat. Instead of a little victory, you're starting with a defeat, a loss, because snooze buttons are losing. So get your feet on the floor, check, there's a win. Feet on the floor, brush your teeth, check. Splash some water on your face, check. Put on your t-shirt, check. Put on your shorts, check. Head downstairs, chug a couple glasses of water, no coffee till after your workout or after your walk, check. Okay, come back in, have a third glass of water, check. Nice cup of coffee, sit down and read, talk to your best friend, whatever, write, do whatever you want. But little check, check, check. And snooze buttons are losing, okay? So same time to bed, same time up. The thing about sleep, the thing about rest, guys, is it gives you an opportunity. It burns fat, believe it or not. It increases your metabolism. 8 hours of solid sleep increases your metabolism. So you burn fat when you sleep. Your metabolism increases. A big thing with sleep is cognitive repair. Your most important computer between your ears. It gives your brain a chance to rest, repair, and recover. We damage our brain during the day, on screens, on phones, on tablets, TV, watching the news, whatever it is, taking phone calls. Well, 8 hours of solid rest gives your brain an opportunity to not just recharge, but to repair. It gives it 8 hours of darkness, 8 hours of no technology. This is why it's so critical that you don't ever touch any screens, anything with a blue light. Don't watch any TV, no phones, no laptops, none of that bullshit anywhere near you 60 minutes before you go to bed. So we shut that stuff down completely at 9 p.m. So I have an hour before 10 o'clock where Krista and I are just talking. We're doing whatever we're doing, but we're not watching a screen. And this allows your body to start to get ready for rest, get ready for sleep. It also repairs. It allows your body, rest allows your body to digest and to rest. One of the biggest secrets that I teach my mastermind guys and my elite top 1%ers is close the kitchen. After dinner, close the kitchen. So one of the rules that I've instituted in my badass world is no eating at all after 7 p.m. And this is new. I've only been doing this for a few months. The kitchen is closed after dinner. I do the dishes, the kitchen's closed. No snacking. And I find this incredibly difficult. So what did I do? I fixed my environment and I fixed my mind. So I said to my wife, Chris, I sat down, I said, listen, I don't want to be snacking anymore after 7 p.m. The kitchen is closed after dinner. I said, I need you to help support me on this. So she said, okay, what do you want me to not buy? And I said, no more pretzels, no more peanuts, no more chips of any kind, nothing that I would normally have to use willpower on. So she got rid of all that stuff. She's just, she doesn't buy it, so it's not there anymore. But no more, a piece of toast with peanut butter, none of that stuff. So after dinner, our kitchen is closed, and that's a rule. And what that allows my body to do is it allows my body to digest dinner, and it allows my body to fast from, let's say, 7 o'clock, okay, I'm done eating dinner between 6 and 7. It gives my body a chance to digest all of that food and then fast until 12 noon the next day. Because I don't eat any food till lunch. I don't eat any food. I want to feel hungry. I want to be hungry. Like, hungry to me is not a mindset, and it's not a slogan. It's not a quote, be hungry. Every day of my life, physically, I want to feel hungry. I want to know what it's like to feel a touch of hunger. Physically, I'm talking physically and mentally. And the way I do this is I don't eat anything until my 12 noon. So I have a protein shake at 11. So I'm hungry until 11 a.m. 11 a.m. So my body has a good chance to digest. There's a little bit of a fast in there. Whether that works or not, I don't care. Like, I'm not into weight loss. But it's just water, lemon water. And then at 11 o'clock a.m. sharp, okay, I've had all those hours from 7 p.m. on, is I have my protein shake, which Krista kale from the garden. I have a banana in there, protein, no sugar and that stuff. And that's my first food at 11 a.m. So I'm feeling really hungry at 10 a.m. I'm feeling really hungry at 10:30. But this is the thing, I want that. I've learned this from a friend of mine, to introduce hunger into our lives. We're so soft in this world, right? We're so soft. We forget what hunger is. We forget what grit is. We forget what it is to have any adversity. We snack and we drink, and we at any time there's anything, any time we have an itch, we scratch it in today's world. So he introduced me to this concept of introducing little bits of adversity into your world that, it adds grit to our lives. It teaches us character, and it reawakens us. So one of the things I've been doing recently is no food from 7 p.m. The kitchen's closed. I have a cup of green tea when I'm watching TV. I'll watch TV for 45 minutes with Krista. And I'll have a cup of green tea, non-caffeinated, no caffeine, and that suppresses my appetite. I do not have any need for snacking at all. And kitchen closed at 7, so I'm not putting food into my body until 11 a.m. And I'm going to push this to 12 if I can. But I am friggin' hungry at 9:30. Don't forget, I've walked an hour. I've written for an hour. I've read for an hour. I've taken Emery to school. Empty stomach. And I feel so good. The clarity in my mind when I'm hungry, like for writing and reading, is beyond belief. As soon as I have my protein shake, my work, my clarity, and my focus start to disintegrate significantly. That's another thing I've been studying. I learned this through my daughter being coached by one of the best chess players in America. And he said, during his chess tournaments, this guy's a state champion. He has a chess rating of over 2,000, and he's only 16, 17 years old. And he said, Michael, he goes, my father would never allow me to snack or to eat during tournaments. They'd have very specific times where he would eat after his matches. And he wasn't going hungry or anything like that. But his dad measured his matches, and he said there was a significant difference. Like, he couldn't play on a full stomach because all the blood sugar from his brain was heading to his stomach to digest this meal. So, you know, he'd have lunch or he'd have dinner or he'd have breakfast, and you could see it. He wasn't focused. He wasn't clear. All of the blood sugar was racing to his abdomen to digest this meal. So he talked to me. He goes, Michael, push your first meal as far into the day as you can. And so I've been doing that, and man, do I feel great. Do I feel sharp? Do I feel focused? And then I've tested it where I have that protein shake at 11, and I have to say, I mean, I really go into a valley. That's where I start doing email and stuff that doesn't take mental clarity. So I shove everything to 11 a.m. I don't touch any technology. I don't do any of that. But you know what? At 11 a.m., I do my email. I make some phone calls if I have to. But I do that as I'm in a little bit of a valley. And why am I in a valley? Because I'm putting food into my body for the first time. And blood sugar is that, you know, I'd be using mentally is now going to my stomach to digest this protein shake, and then from lunch on. So it's just something that's fascinating that I've tested personally. Once again, it's not. I'm not saying to do it. I'm saying this is what I'm doing, and it's an opportunity to think differently, to test these things on yourself. Like Tim Ferriss says, life is skilled testing. Life is skilled testing. So that's what I do, and I love being hungry because, you know, like we used to always have a snack for this and never go hungry and never be tired, and we're such wusses. We're such wimps right now. We live in this world where everything is within touch, and I'm trying to introduce these tiny bits of adversity into my life and my daughter's life that give us a little bit of grit, that build character, that give us more willpower. I'm working on my willpower. I'm saying no to cravings. I'm saying no to scratching every single itch. So rest is a weapon, and it's just been such a game changer for me. And another huge part, okay, is not drinking poison, not poisoning yourself with alcohol. Like, I can't imagine if you're sitting there having a couple drinks every night. Everybody has a couple drinks, that means 4. And then all night your body is trying to digest that poison, trying to digest the food, because as soon as you drink alcohol, as soon as you abuse drugs, your body automatically craves carbohydrates. So that's all of a sudden you're having a sandwich, all of a sudden you're eating potato chips, all of a sudden you're pounding carbs. That just comes. One bad decision leads to multiple bad decisions. So, you know, cleaning all that up and closing the kitchen at dinner time has been such a huge thing. And I mean, I've never woken up at 6 a.m. like I have for the last year. Like, I just wake up and I'm ready to go. If it's raining, if it's sunny, if it's snowing, I'm like feet on the floor and I'm gone. Rest is a weapon. And no more of this dragging myself through the day. I'm just like lights out at 10, start getting ready. None of this video or none of this technology before bed, and I'm lights out. I'm asleep within 3 to 4 minutes. Krista and I do our gratitude at 10 o'clock, which takes sometimes 10 minutes, 15 minutes, where she lists the 4 or 5 things that she's grateful for today. It's not by the way, it's not what our day happened. It's what is she grateful for right now, and the same thing for me. What am I grateful for right now? And I say 3, 4, 5 things, and what an amazing way to end our day. So take that, use this stuff to think differently. How can you make rest a weapon? How can you make sleep a weapon? It's so important to stay young, to have your energy, to have your vitality, to have your health, to get those 8 hours of solid sleep. Get your ass to bed at the same time every night, and get your ass up at the same time every day, and then get those little mini victories. That's it. That's all. If you're interested in my 5-star mastermind that's coming up in September, it's the only opportunity you get to work with me one-on-one. I'll be quite clear about that. I don't do any consulting anymore one-on-one. I don't do phone calls. I don't visit office. I don't do any of that. If you want to work one-on-one with me over the next 12 months, over the next year, the only way to do that is through one of my masterminds. So if you want to raise your hand and say, maybe this is for me, first of all, it's $50,000. So you need to be able to pay, and you need to be an abundance mindset. I don't want anybody in there that's scarcity mindset. Like that $50,000 is pocket change for a badass millionaire, because you get that investment back in the first month or two, just by the guys you associate with. The 18 top 1%ers that you associate with. Just those associations are worth hundreds of thousands of dollars for life. The fact that you get to work with me every single week, one-on-one. We have 2 live events. I'm going to do one in Vegas for fun because I want to go there, and I love the energy of that city. I want to be there. And secondly, we're going to do a live 2-day closed door event for the mastermind guys in Florida. And I'm going to bring in a pro coach. We're going to have 5-star dinners, 5-star drinks, 5-star hotels, the whole thing. And we're going to work on our businesses, our marketing, our marriages, our relationships with our kids, physical, mental health. It's just all about up-leveling. It's all about high performance coaching. So that's it. If you're interested, go to badasschampion.com. Badasschampion.com. Just leave your name and put in your email, and you're on a waiting list. My world builders took up most of the spots, but there's 18 spots, so there's a few spots left. If you're interested, you're not committing, but I'll get on the phone with you later this summer and we'll decide. I'll decide whether I'm the right coach. I'm probably not the right coach for you. And secondly, if this program is for you. Maybe it's too hard for you. Maybe the accountability is too much. Maybe the level of honesty is too much. Maybe you need something before this with somebody else. But just put your name in at badasschampion.com and we'll talk on the phone. And whether you join or not doesn't make any difference to me. It's not going to change my life, but that's the way to stand up and raise your hand and decide. And if you haven't got a copy of my book, I don't know what you're doing on my list. I don't know why you're watching these videos. I don't know what you're doing. It's a $20 book shipped to your home, and it's the greatest investment you could ever have in your marriage, your health, your family, your children, your business, your marketing, building your legacy. So what are you waiting for? If you're not interested in investing $20 in your family, in becoming a hero in your own home, then it's time for you to leave. The trap door is below. If you're on my email list and you watch the videos but you haven't read my book, you're not really serious, and you're certainly not a badass millionaire. You're certainly not a part of our brotherhood. So there's an unsubscribe below, or just reply to this to unsubscribe. But I'm sure there's a place for you somewhere. It just certainly isn't here. This is the big leagues of living life and doing business on your own terms. It's not for spectators. There's lots of other places you can go and they'll talk about winning and losing, and they've never done any winning or any losing. They've never won anything. Maybe that's a place for you, but not here. Here you invest in yourself or you hit the bricks. So that's it for today. Rest is a weapon. Rest is a weapon. Make it happen in your new world. 2 words that changed my life, 2 words that'll certainly change yours. Be relentless.